So California Medicaid program, facing a deficit over $6 billion in loans, has been spending on non-medical services like rent assistance and medically tailored meals under its CalAIM, California Advanced and Innovating Medical initiative, which reimagined healthcare to include housing and healthy food for the state's poorest and sickest residents. The federal government under the Trump administration and newly confirmed Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services head Dr. Mehmet Oz is cracking down on Medi-Cal and other medical programs, with Oz stating that Medicaid dollars for vulnerable people are being used for non-medical services, crowding out spending on education and other services. Tom, what do you know about the story?
This is California. Let's just say, let me look up, check my notes. Yep, they're broke. And so they are misappropriating money. And when misappropriation is when money was put in a government account for something, it needs to be used for that something. And so California Medicaid has been stressed because they brought in so many of these illegal aliens, undocumented immigrants, whatever political name you have for them, they brought in excess peoples. And those peoples break their legs, get sick, go to the hospital, and Medicaid covers the cost of that. That's what Medicaid is. When you hear CAID, C-A-I-D, that is for people who are poor or otherwise don't have money, and they get their services covered by the state because they can't pay for it. And if a 6-year-old child walks in with a broken ankle, I want that child cared for. So does everybody else. Well, they're taking some of that money and they were using it on homeless, because what's the other side of the barbell, right? On one side, you've got, these illegal aliens, undocumented immigrants, tourists, whatever name you have. They need medical services, but they also are in tent cities. So they're trying to use the Medicaid dollars, tent cities. It says, so spoiler alert, America, states cannot run an annual deficit. It's against the law. They can't do it. They have to balance the books at the end of the year. And they balance the books on the rest of us. When a storm, hits Florida, or an earthquake hits California and they can't balance the books, FEMA federal dollars come into the state to cover the gap. And so when the state has an absolute gap, they go to the federal government to get federal money to come in. So when California misuses Medicare to do it for other things other than helping poor people get medical services, you, me, and everybody else in the other 49 states end up paying for it, because one way or another it comes from the federal government. Meanwhile, they're saying they're going to allow homeless students, now put those two together, homeless and student, to sleep in their cars. Wait a minute. Colleges, public colleges, have dorms. Dorms are low-cost, very cheap apartments for students. So why the hell, if you're using the money for, what type of homeless, Oz is pointing out, Dr. Oz says, crowding out spending on education, other state services. Why can't those be, if you're going to misappropriate the Medicaid budget, why don't, instead of having students sleep in their cars, figure out how to get truly poor students who is a student, and a student means you're in a junior college or something in California, and you're sleeping in your car, and you're a student, why can't we cover something for that student, that poor student, in their dorm so they can get their degree, live in a dorm, which is an incredibly low-cost, very small student apartment, and come out with that? Meanwhile, America is funding the shortfall on this under Gavin Newsom's watch, and students are sleeping in cars while they're trying to get something of a college degree and some education to go get a job, and then homeless people are getting their housing paid for by the governor. This is just so bad on so many levels. It really hurts me to talk about it.
Reminds me of another, and by the way, you know what Californians will say? You guys hate on California so much, we became the 4th largest economy in the world. Mm-hmm. What do you say to those guys, Tom? You don't know what you're talking about. You guys just have hate in your hearts about California, Tom. You just have hate in your heart.
You are the 4th largest economy in the world for now. And you look at the people that are leaving, and I look at the condition of your people there. And if you want to hang your argument on we're the 4th largest economy in the world, really? Then I'm going to go and say China's the 2nd most populous country in the world. Look at that. And then you go look at the squalor, and you look at the oppression, you look at what's happening in China. You tell me, we're 4th largest economy in the world. Really? And you have this homelessness, and you have these students living in their cars, and you have all this? What are you doing with the money? You're misappropriating it. You're so using the opportunity as the fourth largest economy, you're blowing it. It's like the kid that gets the big free agent contract and he's out of the NFL and dead broke 3 years later because he spent it on everything but. You guys are a spending machine that is absolutely out of control.
You got hate in your heart.
I'm not hating on you.
Dodger fan.
I'm looking at the numbers.
No, I'm just telling you, you have hate in your heart. That's what they would say to you.
Tom,
They would say, you have hate in your heart towards California. What did California ever do to you? Since you left California,
They drove him
why
out of
don't you
Dodge.
stop rooting for the Dodgers and become a Marlins fan? Oh, why don't you?
I love good baseball.
You love good baseball.
I love good baseball, and I'm a Dodger fan at the heart, but I love good baseball.
Tom, I feel for you, my brother. So what they're doing in California right now is very reminiscent of what they made Chris Farley do. He's living in a van down by the river.
Exactly.
So you're making college kids sleep in their cars? This is what's going on right now?
Or you're paying for housing for homeless people
living in a
out of
van
Medicaid budget.
down by the river. So what's going on in California is this, and they always say this, and I actually fell for it. They're like, we're so rich, we got the fourth largest economy, we just surpassed Japan, we're a $1 trillion economy. It's like, yeah, but there's a big difference with your money between what you make and what you spend. You know, anytime you're trying to balance a budget, you ask two questions. What's your income and what are your expenses? Because there's so many people in America right now that I see that's like, I make $100,000 a year, but it's like, why are you $30,000 in debt? Because I spent $130,000 a year. I got credit cards. I got a fancy car. So it's like, all right, you're making all this money, California, right? You have a $1 trillion economy, but you're over budget. And you're spending stupid things on stupid homeless programs, on Medicaid, and all these different expenses. That's great, amazing. Silicon Valley is making all the money, but it's not filtering down to the rest of us. So income is great, but your expenses are horrible. It's almost like in sports, you have a great offense, but a horrible defense. And then you lose the game 110, 112, just like the Lakers.
You know how many homeless people there are currently in California?
A lot.
174.
187 now. 187,000, give or take. And the irony is that like they'll accuse you of having hate in your heart and not being compassionate for the homeless. And the more homeless that they have, the more compassion that you have to give to the more homeless that you have. I always say like California is comparable to Canada in a certain way. And if you want to know where California is heading, you can look north to see what's going on in Canada. Yeah. And it's only a matter of time before they start, I'm not even being cynical, start expanding on their medical assistance in dying or euthanasia programs in California to take care of that problem, which is an uncontrollable burden on the economy. But it's true. Yeah, biggest economy in the world, and you're squandering money through corrupt means on the homeless, and you have a state where you don't have water in the fire hydrants for when you have a crisis, and then you come crying to the federal government for more federal emergency monies while simultaneously failing at your basic obligations as governor.
And words talk, numbers scream. This from the federal government under Biden before the inauguration of Trump, and it's continued to be true. California loses 600 jobs a day. 54,000 jobs a quarter.
Where do they go?
Lost right now. No, they're lost. They're either layoff and not replaced, or they've moved out of state. And like 2 refineries, Valero just announced it's closing a refinery. So guess what? By the midterm elections, California gas will be about 8 to 10% more expensive on transportation costs because they're moving refineries out of California. So you got to pay to wheel the gas into California that goes into the tank, that goes into the pump, that goes into your car.
During a season like this where a lot of people are going through challenging times, they're worried. They don't know what's going on. Some of the people are having a hard time with their finances, with their small businesses, with their careers, with their families. Stress, period, anxiety, any of that stuff. I said, I think we need something to make people's day. And I think our audience wants to participate in that. So what do? We sat there and said, we want to come up, since our audience, a lot of business owners, executives, small business owners, entrepreneurs, we want to give you the opportunity to send a package to anybody you know that's going through a challenging time with a heartfelt message to make their day. So today, we're launching this new initiative called When Life Gives You Lemons, what do? Make lemonade. This program right here, Rob, if you want to play the clip. So we come up with this idea. Here's what it is. The box is when you choose to order this program that we have, okay? You send this box. We send it on behalf of you. That box right there, they open it up. There's a video message being played by me, an encouraging message about what they're going through today. They get a hat. On top of that, they get the smell. When you open this up, it smells like lemon, literally when you open it up. You get to pick and choose. My video is playing right here when they open it up. Obviously, I'm going to press pause here. But it's an encouraging message. You get to pick and choose what color hat they get. It's either the white lemon hat with Valuetainment and a lemon on the back, and it says, when life gives you a lemon. In the middle, it says, make lemonade. You can choose the green hat, or you can choose the red and green, all of this, but the black and green in it. Anyways, inside of it, when you open it up, there's the Valuetainment paper that's in it. There's this lemon squeezer that's in it. You got these, what do you call these things?
Air fresheners.
Air fresheners in the car. You got a bunch of stickers, bunch of lemons, and then stress balls in it, okay? They're going to laugh. They're going to have fun with it. But if you're somebody that's watching this, you have a friend, a family member, a coworker that's really going through it today, and you want to put the biggest smile on their face, representing both Valuetainment and the individual that's going through it, go to vtmerch.com, Rob, if you can help them walk through this. And there's going to be a card in it. You can go to vtmerch.com. Rob, if you can go to the card so they can see what that'll look like. So they'll get that box. You see the Future Looks Bright on it, hashtag. And then the note right there with your name on the bottom left, meaning sent to you with care from your name being in there. So this is more than just a box. It's a message of optimism, encouragement, and the power of turning life's lemons into something amazing. We want to be able to use these opportunities to make people's days. We did this with only a limited 500 of these. We don't have more of these. These are all handmade. These took 6 weeks to make. So we only have 500 supply. The cost on this, we're making no money on this. This is $74.99 to ship it to somebody with everything that's in there. So go to vtmerch.com, place your order. And when you do, be sure in the shipping address, you put their shipping address. Unless if you want one that comes to you, they're going to be limited supplies. You can have one being shipped to you and you go deliver to somebody. I'm personally sending 10 to people that I know, and I think Pierre Poliev's on the list of one of the ones that I have that I'm shipping it
Better
to.
put an apple in that one.
Yeah, put an apple in there
But
too.
they're going to be going to some of the people that I have as well.
If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.